Hello everyone and welcome back to Shock Talk. Man, I'm so excited I can't contain myself today. We've got a heck of an episode set up for you guys. We have the guys from Aaron Ford of Poway here. We have Eddie and Joevonni here to tell us about a vision that they might be able to make happen for us here in Poway. And basically, after making the introductions, I'm just going to turn them loose. You guys, let us know what you got to say today.
Sure. My name is Eddie. I'm the service manager at Aaron Ford of Poway. This is Joevonni, the parts manager at Aaron Ford of Poway. We have a vision to make Aaron Ford of Poway the one-stop shop. We want our dealership to be the place where you can go buy an already built vehicle, whether a Bronco Sport, Maverick, F-150, Raptor. I mean, as crazy as you want to take it, with the support of BILSTEIN, we should not have any problems doing that because your guys' lineup starts from the OEM replacement to as crazy as somebody wants to go. But we also want to make our shop the place that you can stop by and just a family environment. You come in and nobody's going to judge you on what you've built, what you've done to your vehicle.
Are you going to service all brands here?
So the plan is to service any off-road vehicle in our shop. That is the ultimate plan. But as it currently sits, we're going to stick with Ford.
Okay.
Just because we're just starting this dream. Our ownership is huge on making this happen. He's going to sit back on the sidelines and let me and Joevonni pilot this.
Let you guys run till you hang yourselves?
Yeah, pretty much. He's going to give us enough rope for us to hang ourselves and then maybe not hang ourselves, maybe pull the leash on us a little bit every once in a while when we do some things. As far as the service side, I want to make it to where you can come in and bring your vehicle and not have to worry about what's the dealership going to say.
Right.
I have oversized tires.
Yeah, it's modified.
Yeah, it's modified. But you know what? Why should we cancel your warranty because you modified a vehicle? It has to be in direct correlation. The modified component has to be in direct correlation with the failed component.
Right, in order for it to be out of warranty.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing is a lot of dealerships you drive up and a lot of the off-road crowd says, man, I can't go to the dealership because my vehicle's been modified.
Yep.
But you know, I drive a modified vehicle, and I go to the dealership. All my vehicles get serviced at the dealership because that's the place I can trust. If Ford made your vehicle, why wouldn't they be able to service it? But then there's that old way of thinking where, you know, you're like, oh, I'm going to drive in and, you know, are they going to help me? Are they not going to help me?
Yep. Or maybe they're not familiar with the parts that are on it or, you know.
That's the other thing.
You start modifying a truck to a point where now the alignment specs, they're not using OE alignment specs now, you know, to have a Ford dealership that would go, oh, I realize that this vehicle is modified. I need to alter the alignment specs because it's lifted, it's got bigger tires, it's got different control arms on it and things like that. So a shop that has that, you know, there's nobody in San Diego. I mean, I drive a modified truck and I would love to have OE level service on my vehicle, but no matter where I take it, they pretty much do exactly what you said. They're like, hey, you've modified this thing to the point where there isn't a single OE part left on it. We don't even know where to start with this. It'd just be super nice to have a place that can take it to, and at least, I mean, Google works for even us, right? Yeah, right. Okay, so you've got these lower control arms. What's the best alignment spec for that?
Correct.
And, you know, at least try to get it done. I mean, it would be great.
I agree with you, and that's the thing. As far, I'm going to piggyback on the alignment thing. The gentleman that does my front end goes to every Baja race and pits for one of the biggest teams.
So he knows what
Baja.
it takes. He knows what he's doing.
Drives a first-gen Raptor with big tires and suspension and everything. My transmission guy has raced in Baja in the Quad Series many times.
These are all guys that work at the shop.
These are all my employees. So our shop is full of off-road enthusiasts.
You've got the groundwork.
We're not pros. We go out, we race, we brake, we tow it back, we see what we can do to make it better. And we just really want to approach the off-road crowd so they know they have a home at Aaron Ford of Poway.
A lot of new car buyers are really worried about the warranty. Like, it's a big deal. They're like, I don't want to modify the car. I always say that. I'm not going to modify it till it's past warranty.
Yeah. I'm not even going to change tires until it goes out of warranty.
Where's the fun in that?
I know.
But if you can go down to a dealer, a local dealer, and get it done there, then you should just be able to take it back there.
Or if you guys are providing like a dealer install service where let's say the customer says, okay, I'm done with the OE shocks. I want to put this Bilstein kit on this car. Or, I mean, we've already worked on a project together. We've done the baby Bronco.
Yeah, we've done the baby Bronco.
Yeah.
Baby Bronco. The Bronco too.
Yeah.
As Chris would like to say.
With TerraSport product on it. And
well,
the thing looks awesome.
It looks amazing.
Anybody local.
Giovanni drove
check it out, yeah.
He said it was amazing. I will probably take it out to the desert this weekend. Just so I can get a good feel of it.
We appreciate feedback. Anything
I will have my film guy go with me, and then I'm taking it to Superstition.
Yep. Maybe we can post some of that video.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, I just want to see, because when I took your factory tour, I mean, I knew about Bilstein. Let me dial it back a little.
Yeah, exactly. I want to hear this story.
Let's get back to the beginning of of the Bronco sport.
Oh, you want to go back?
No. Let's go back to the beginning of the story.
So I bought a vehicle, and it was my first truck. It came with the awesome rake that they all come with, right? And I kept seeing all these other vehicles have a nice lift. And this is a couple of years back when the Cali lift was really in style.
Yeah, nose high, yeah.
Yeah, and so one of my buddies had it, and I said, hey, what do you got there? And he goes, well, I got Bilstein. And I was like, okay, tell me about it. It was my first truck, right? And I had never modified a vehicle. I was a big Mustang guy before that. And he said, well, they're Bilstein 5100s. And I said, okay, well, let me take it for a ride. So I took it for a ride at the 905. I don't know if you guys have ever been there down in Otay Mountain Trail.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I was romping on it, and man, it just took a beating. It rode great, and it wasn't very much money. So I did like everybody else. I went and I bought Bilstein 5100s, lifted my vehicle, put it on bigger tires. I couldn't afford wheels yet at that point, so I had the OE wheels on it.
What kind of truck was it?
It was a Toyota Tacoma, second gen.
Okay.
It was a TRD off-road 4x4, and it was the thing that like really started it all, with Bilstein. I had those. We went out to Superstition. One of my buddies is doing like, I think 60, 70 right next to me going through the desert. And I'm like, what the heck? Why can't I do that? And it's not that I couldn't, but it just looks so effortlessly on his. Well, lo and behold, he's got Bilstein 6112s.
All right.
And I'm like, okay, now I got to get that, and
the addiction has started.
It's, I always compare it to like owning a boat, break out another 1,000 with Bilstein. You guys make it so hard to not spend money because your lineup is extensive.
Yeah.
And it just gets better and better and better. And your price point is really amazing and achievable. But it's one of those things is, when does it stop? My wife's asked the same thing. We are probably going to go with your UTV lineup next because of the tour that I took.
Right.
I was blown away. And then the way you guys have it set up to where your staff can explain to you exactly what everything does is, I'm sold. How do I not purchase this? Well, that day of the tour, you guys did not want to sell me the product. I said, just take my credit card. I met a bunch of you guys.
Well, we got the little square scanner around here somewhere. We'll take care of it right now.
Yeah. I mean, I just, I think that Bilstein is local to Poway. Aaron Ford is from Poway.
Right.
Bilstein is from Poway.
Yeah. Bilstein's from Poway.
Yeah. And when I came up with this dream, it was in an advertisement meeting with our auto group.
The Vision Quest.
That's where it started. And I said, I talked to my owner and I said, hey, I have an idea. And he said, Eddie, I want to build a legacy. I want to be homegrown. And I said, well, there's two people that popped to mind. Bilstein was number one in my head. I said, I can literally drive there within 5 minutes from my shop.
Yeah, I think, what are we, 6-7 miles apart on the road?
And then my whole experience with the actual staff here started with one of your employees who brought his vehicle to service.
He's actually our producer, Garrett.
And it is your producer, Garrett. Garrett is the guy that kind of started, or actually not kind of, did start this relationship.
That's because he owns a really weird truck. What do they call it?
Yeah, that Raptor that he drives. It's just a grocery getter.
Yeah.
Barely ever sees dirt.
He loads that up with his camera gear, and he goes everywhere we send him in that truck. So
there's not one single scratch on the side.
Yeah, no, not at all.
No, it's a little pinstripe.
Yeah, just a little though. You
go through the primer yet.
Yeah, not yet at least. But yeah, Garrett started it, and then I had always purchased BILSTEIN products, but the way that Garrett was just down to earth made me want to do business. So I told my owner about it, and he said, Eddie, I don't want to worry about any of that. You and Joevonni,
just make it happen.
Do what you got to do. I'll back you up, and I'll let you know if something's wrong. But I'm here to build a legacy for my family. He currently owns 6 dealerships and growing. But Aaron Ford of Poway,
San Diego County?
San Diego and Riverside County. Yeah. But Aaron Ford of Poway was his first dealership that he bought. That's the baby of it. Yeah. So that's why we're doing all the prototype at our store, because this is where he first started his name. So it's just been growing and growing. It's a lot of work, a lot of phone calls after work, especially to Garrett, to try and get this all set up. But you guys
it's starting to come together, and I have to reciprocate a little bit that, once you guys came for the tour here, we went for a tour, an impromptu tour at your place. Yeah. And I have to say, I have not seen such an organized dealership, and I actually used to work for a Ford dealership. In my career in this industry, I was amazed at how organized everything was, how polite everyone was when you walked us through. I was amazed, truly amazed, that a service manager has the power that you have.
Yes. When he said, Eddie, you build it and I will back you up, he has been 100% a man of his word.
I love that.
I've worked at 6, 7 dealerships, and everybody's kind of wanted to do what we're doing.
Right.
But there's a fear. Right?
Absolutely. There's money involved.
There's money, but then there's also, is this market really the market we want to be a part of?
We fight it every day as well. Yeah.
But, I showed him, your guys' Instagram, and then I showed him, I'm a big Glamis guy, and I said, they have a camp once a year, and it turns into a small city. And that Tacoma that I had with BILSTEIN 5100s made it through Sand Highway doing about 40, 50. I bottomed out a couple times on my own fault because I was so used to having a Razor going through it, right?
Right.
But a full-size, or not a full-size, but a mid-size truck, I can't drive it like I drive the Razor, So I had to learn the whoops.
Yeah, learn the speed that'll work.
The whoops at Sand Highway, we were looking at an overview from Google Maps satellite.
They're big enough now that they show up on Google Maps.
You can see the whoops from outer space.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
How big they are.
But I'm a Glamis kid too. I mean, I grew up out there. The technology is just, it's amazing these days.
I mean, your guys' UTV lineup is it's nasty, man. When you put it out in the desert.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to put together Camp Razor, so we might be out there this year. I don't know, but we're trying to get more involved with the Glamis crowd again.
Yeah, we God willing, will be in Camp Razor with one of the people we're working on sponsoring right now.
Nice.
Nothing's official yet, but our ownership is making a huge investment in a local off-road homegrown individual, and if that lands, we're hoping to be in Camp Razor right next to that individual because he has a booth in Camp Razor.
Yeah, so folks that don't know, Camp Razor is Halloween weekend in Glamis Dunes, and it's a big deal.
It's about 100. Last year, I believe, it was 120,000 people.
We went just to kind of visit and check it out.
Yeah.
We've been going for years, but never officially as BILSTEIN.
Yeah.
And it was just, it blew my mind. I mean, as a kid growing up, we'd always go on Thanksgiving and Halloween to Glamis. And
major holidays.
It's 10 times bigger than I remember it.
Are you sure?
It being, yes, it is. It's big. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It turns into a little city.
Yeah.
I mean, if you see the lights everywhere just coming and going.
Well, Polaris owns the store now.
I've heard rumors, but I don't know. I haven't confirmed that it's official, right?
Right.
I'm still buying the $9 Snickers and
Yeah, exactly.
the $15 Gatorades,
The $100 sand pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
A lot of people think of like California as like surfing and all that, but they don't understand like the locals that
Right.
live in San Diego
And you have two
Orange
types
County,
yeah.
the desert
Yep.
on Glamis Halloween weekend and
Thanksgiving.
is gigantic
Yeah.
for Southern
I
California.
mean, how many air fryer accidents have
Yeah,
we
exactly. The
in
turkey
Glamis
exploded
for
or whatever.
Another portion of what we're trying to do at Aaron Ford of Poway is I'm doing the off-road crowd and stuff like that. But Joevonni here is more of a drag racer. So he has a 2024 5.0 F-150 single cab, which right now we are begging ownership to let us put a Whipple supercharger on it.
That's going to take the warranty away, I'm pretty sure.
You know, I'm going to leave him. That is his space.
Yeah.
But that's another thing I wanted to bring up is that we want to conquer the off-road crowd.
Right.
But then at the same time, Bilstein makes products,
Oh, yeah.
you know, for these trucks.
We cover the whole thing. So, I mean, I've heard talk about Mustangs as well.
Yeah.
You know, the newer model, we haven't really got anything dialed in for that yet, but the older Mustangs, we got product for that. And I mean, it's a perfect place for not just off-roaders, but guys with Mustangs and street cars that want to get an upgraded performance suspension package.
I mean, yeah,
You were telling me about a friend you had that built a crazy Mustang, 1,200 horsepower or something like that.
Yeah, it's a friend of mine. He has a GT350.
Oh, nice.
Makes about 1,000.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty on the street. So
Now the F-150, this is a total drag truck, or is it?
it's going to get there.
That's
gonna
God
get there,
willing,
so-
with ownership, sponsorship, that is what we're shooting for.
So have we converted it to a tube chassis or any of that stuff yet?
not yet. Right now, it's just lowered.
We have the
Right.
lowering. We're waiting for the approval for the supercharger because that's a hefty investment
Right.
from the ownership. But it's one of those things where our dealership again wants to be the place you go to, whether you want to off-road and you want to come into our shop. And you know, thankfully, Bilstein is going to allow us to have their product there on site and be available for the customer to come in and look at it and go, I want that. And I can say, hey, I have it.
I love that
It's
idea.
ready to go.
You know, you bring in, let's say you bought a new F-250 and, you know, it's in for its 50,000 mile service. Your service techs go, the stock shocks are looking a little worn. You know, the customer now has that option. They look up on the wall, they go, okay, so there's the stock Ford shock, there's the 4600. I think I'm going to go with that. I mean,
Make a decision.
It just gives them more options.
Yeah, and it's the other thing of, you know, I have a lot of customers that are really excited for us to have our off-road lineup set up. I've been talking it up a storm, and the crowd is so receptive to just being like, oh, I want to build my truck. Oh, I can build it here.
Yeah, I don't have to take it to some guy eating boogers down the street.
Yeah.
Like I can come in and, you know, luckily Bilstein's media team and sales team is amazing. They went to our shop, they looked at everything, and they said, okay, I think we're going to set up shop here, Eddie. And then Bilstein's going to allow us to carry their products in store. A lot of customers are ready to just come in and go, okay, I want that, or come in and say, this is what I want my truck to look like. Can you make that happen?
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of people, there's two different types of people. There's people that, you know, want it for performance, and there's people that just don't want that nasty rake that comes from factory.
Stink bug.
Or like you said when you started out, what did you do to that truck?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and they don't
exactly.
know,
Yeah.
but once they get going, they don't realize they're opening Pandora's box.
Exactly.
It's over after that.
Shane and I have
Yeah.
both had that experience, the happy face, sad face.
Yeah.
We call it happy face, sad face. You know, good modifications and bad modifications.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is with the Bilstein product lineup, you know, you're buying something that is tried and true. You know, how long has Bilstein been around?
150 years.
We've been making shocks since 1955.
Yeah.
Insane. I mean, it's just, you can't go wrong with your product. The company will back up their product. Obviously, you know, if you're, you know, beating something up and it fails at the same time, why did it fail? But you can call down here. And then the other thing is I just found out that you guys are working on some sort of servicing, maybe.
Yeah, we can hint at that a little bit. Bilstein used to have a service center, right? So we had the ability for customers to send in shocks. Believe it or not, our old shocks were all rebuildable. 4600s, all the entire line. They were held together with two internal snap rings, and you could take it apart and rebuild it. So, you know, you'd have a guy that bought shocks from us 30 years ago for his Porsche, and he'd send them in and get them rebuilt.
Yeah, we had like probably about 15 techs.
Yeah.
They all had their own desk, and they would talk to customers.
Yeah, and
well, there was the
help
hotline. Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
I think for me, that's huge if that takes off, because you buy the product at my shop, we put it together, and how good are you going to feel to know that that shock was made right down the
Built
street?
here, yeah.
And if you have a question or you need it, you know, God willing, it goes to servicing, but you have that question, they're right down the street.
Yeah.
So the service center is involving anything we make here in Poway.
With a Schrader valve.
With a Schrader valve. So that's all of our like 8100 line.
All the high line stuff.
UTV products.
Yeah.
So if somebody buys like a, you know, $6,000 Bronco package, 8112s, you know, that's not a throwaway shock. He can get it rebuilt someday. He can get it revalved if he wants to.
And the neat thing is we're hoping to have a parts counter too, where a customer that wants to try to rebuild it themselves. Some of these guys are pretty handy. The shock's really not that complicated, so they could come up and buy a rebuild kit, if you will, and, you know, with a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of help, they could rebuild it. So that, again, we keep quotations and things like that. It's in the works. We had it for many years.
It's actually up and running right now.
Yeah. It's basically doing racer service now.
No, we haven't really like advertised it too much, but we've been doing revalves for people. Like we sell a lot of shocks for AV suspension.
Okay.
So a lot of people maybe have a Gladiator with an AV kit, but they put a big camper on the back. Yeah. And now it's like can't drive down the road, so we've been getting those back in.
And that was another neat aspect of the service center back in those days was the tuning, so the revalves, right? So a customer, let's say back to the Porsche, he changed the car in some way, or he wanted to make it a fully dedicated track car. He could send in those dampers, and we could basically build in a valving set or tuning into that damper to match. And of course, align that with off-roading as well. Like Shane said, tow vehicles or off-road dedicated vehicles and things like that.
So let's just say you had a customer that has like an F250, and maybe they did a leveling kit, and they bought one of our 8100 shocks. And let's say they wanted to do a four-wheel camper or some kind of overland setup.
Yeah.
So the shocks are designed for kind of an empty vehicle.
Correct.
So he drives it and then goes down a dirt road and it sways and it's just not performing
too
right.
low. And
you can send those shocks back, the 8100s that are take aparts, and we can revalve it and put a different setting in. Like I had for your customer, you know, I had a customer with a Gladiator, and he had an AV suspension, and he had put a roof tent. He had a 200-pound slide. He had about 500 pounds of weight in the back.
That wasn't there.
Yeah, that wasn't there when that suspension was designed. Yeah. And this particular individual was like, yeah, I live in Arizona, and we drive off-road from Arizona to Wyoming once a year. Wow.
Definitely needs a tune on that.
Yeah. And he's like, the thing was like, it kind of it doesn't really bottom out, but it rebounds. So we were able to go, okay, we added about 35% more rebound, 25% more compression. And he actually sent us a note. He's like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. When I heard about it, and I know you haven't advertised it much, but to me, that is huge. It's be able to, and the gentleman that's running it for you, actually he's the one that helped us with the tour. Yeah. Super knowledgeable, down to earth. You can ask that guy any question, and that's the vibe I got when I took the tour. I had been here before, but it wasn't like the tour. Once you get the tour, I mean, you get special shoes, glasses. You know, it was a. You know,
if Garrett got any video of that, we have to show you in those shoes. Man, that was the best.
You know, I sent a picture to my wife while we were still in reception, and she's like, "Last time you went there, that didn't happen." I said, "Yeah, but last time I was more there for like, I think I was dropping something." One of your guys' Broncos, I believe. I was dropping off a yellow one. I don't remember exactly what color.
Yeah, could have been. But we did own a yellow one.
I did get to see the that old shock. How many miles did it have on it?
We had a 1,000,000-mile shock.
A 1,000,000-mile shock, which I had heard about, but to get to see it was totally something else. So to me, and then I heard it wasn't even a bad shock. It was just...
It tested within 5% of its original specs.
So
I wouldn't say it was still good. I mean, the outside of the shock was beat up pretty good, but the inside, it was functional. Yeah,
it was functioning.
Yeah, that was impressive. But this time we came down, and then just the reception that BILSTEIN gave us, and then to walk you through step by step is just pretty amazing to see how things are built. And then I believe Ivan.
Yeah, we have robots.
I love Ivan.
We named our robots after famous off-road racers. So.
Yes. So that machine was impressive, and then the
dyno.
The dyno. Yeah, that
the
blew
dyno
Giovanni away.
was for a few years one of a kind. Now they've sold a few more, but we got production number 1 of 1 on that dyno. So, and we're actually looking at getting some even newer, more expensive dynos to come up, but
that looked like a pretty expensive shop when I was in there. You know, I went through it and I was just blown away by all the machines you guys have here, and the fact that it's made in house is, and you test every shock.
Yep. Yeah, everything goes.
Where
on
do you
the
find
dyno.
the time?
Yeah, that's
you have to.
That's one guy's permanent job. So, and you mentioned a couple other cool factors, right? So we have an in-house machine shop that does some of our manufacturing for our parts. Basically, they're doing early prototype manufacturing, and then they do short production run manufacturing right here in-house. We have our own QC lab, which QCs every single part that comes out of that lab to the millionth of an inch. We didn't get to walk you guys through that, but it's really cool.
Was that the secret room that I...
Yeah. There's a machine that measures things with lasers, and we didn't want you to go in there without the right safety gear.
No, I got to look at the door.
Yeah,
you know, one day I'll get in there, but they did tell me that they were like, "Oh, it's
wild." I mean, this place. I'm glad you guys came for the tour. I really enjoyed having you guys here. I mean, it was for us. I just want to do that every day. Is teach people about the shop and how we build things and what we do. And
you know what blew me away. This is kind of a offshoot here, but the way that BILSTEIN takes care of its employees, and the way that everybody I talked to here was like happy, willing to help. It's the same thing that we're instituting in our company.
I did feel that there when we went.
We want our employees, and the leadership wants the employees to want to come to work. You want to enjoy where you come to work. You want to be proud of where you work. You know, for a long time, dealerships have had a bad name for themselves in the off-road community, and I know that because I'm part of the off-road community. So it makes it to where now when you come in, you get a warm greeting. You can sit and talk. One of my service advisors that works for me is an avid dirt biker, and you can sit and talk shop with him all day long. You can come in and talk to Giovanni. He'll talk your ear off on modifications.
Drag stuff.
He'll build you. He'll go deep in your wallet. It depends on how deep you want to go with it.
Yeah, exactly. The supercharger for customers is not a
starting
problem,
point for Giovanni, though. But that's the other thing is with our leadership group that we have now and the ownership group, you know, when he shows up to the dealership, which again, he spends a lot of time in Poway, he'll come in, shake everybody's hand, walk the shop. You know, he's just wearing a polo type of guy, shakes your hand, asks you how your family's doing. He's currently sponsoring the Scripps Ranch Fun Run for the next, I believe, 3 to 4 years. And it's all in line with what we want it to be, where you want to come service your car here. You can buy off-road parts. You can modify it. You can just do the oil change.
Like a family is the way it felt.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the other thing that our Ford dealership does is, let's just say your producer is at work and he can't get out of the office. My staff, we have a pickup and delivery service that's absolutely at no charge. My staff will drive over with an app. Garrett can track that whole vehicle from when it leaves here, goes to the shop, gets work done. He gets something sent back to him that gives him the condition of his vehicle, and then we drive it all the way back to your work. So you never
that whole
have
6 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the whole 6 miles. But we do.
But imagine a customer living farther away where that really makes a huge difference.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that is super cool.
If we look at it, right in this very plaza, how many big companies are here?
Man.
I mean, I have a lot of customers. Poway employs a lot of people.
Yep.
And some of the big companies that are here, a lot of them drive Fords.
Yep.
So having that service for me to pick it up, drop it off for
That
you,
is
and you not have to worry about
Yeah.
it, and it doesn't cost you a dime.
I think that,
That's a big deal.
my
How do you say
opinion
no to that?
of what you're doing
That's
with
genius
that
right
dealership is
there.
everything that I had imagined when I worked at the dealership that I would have changed.
What dealership was this? I'm curious.
I don't know if I should say it. It's in El
Was it
Cajon.
local? Oh,
Okay, okay.
that's all you gotta say.
Done deal.
So, and this was 20 years ago, right? So that was back when I was turning wrenches for Ford, and
Yeah.
and it wasn't horrible. It just, that was the way it was. And even at that time, that dealership had kind of a family vibe, but it was all about making money, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we have a business to run, but there's
Yep.
a right way to do
Yeah.
business. You don't want to look at it just like that. I've always thought about it like, if I treat you good, and then your family comes in, and then your friends come in. I mean, there's that saying, right? A bad review goes to 100 people, and a
Yep.
good one goes to 2.
Yep.
But if you treat that person good, they're going to talk about it. And then, again, big on that pickup and delivery thing. It's like every obstacle that you could put in front is pretty much gone.
That is so incredible.
What we're trying to also do there is when you go buy a vehicle from us, I want it to be transparent, clear. This is what's happening. I don't work in sales, but I do facilitate sales for my service customers, because I want them to be able to do everything there. And then our auto group has, 3 Ford dealerships. We have a Chevy, a Dodge Jeep Ram, and we have another dealership that we're building right now that we can't really talk about yet. But we're a growing company. So if you come to Poway and you say, hey, Eddie, I don't want to buy this, I want to buy that, I can go through all of our auto group and get you whatever you want. And then you come in and you say, hey, I picked the Bronco Sport for you guys to build because I think it's the perfect car for an entry-level driver.
Yeah, everyone wants something like that.
So
right?
let's start at the beginning of that. So we have this TerraSport line that we've created, and we just came out with Bronco Sport and Maverick.
Yeah, that was our latest 2 releases.
So I think it's like really cool that you guys decided to build a car around the suspension, this TerraSport suspension. So yeah, let's talk about that.
The Bronco Sport and the Maverick, first of all, I'm a huge fan of the Maverick. It takes you back to when trucks were just a truck, just that Home Depot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
roll up with
yeah.
Mini truck days.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The mini trucks.
Well, it reminds me of a Subaru Brat, but
oh wow.
Not really. It's not that bad. No.
no, I mean, I'm not saying that was bad. I thought that was the coolest truck ever made. The Subaru.
Well, we
Brat.
all remember those days when you needed to talk to someone and you needed to do this.
Yeah.
Roll it down.
Yeah.
And then
Hold on.
Well,
let me
mid-sized trucks are pretty big now.
Yeah.
And they're full of tech.
It fills the
So
gap.
it's like,
It's the Maverick's the perfect platform for, I believe, first-time drivers that need a truck, but they still want to have a nice truck.
Grocery
get. It's 40 miles a gallon, and
that's big.
it's got all-wheel drive. And Bilstein has a lineup to where you could turn it in from a little truck to a nicely sitting truck with great suspension while still not breaking the bank.
Yep.
So to me, in the Poway crowd, the Poway community is all about family. So you're going to have that 15-year-old boy or girl that's going to need a vehicle.
Ready for a car. Yep.
Yeah. And are you going to really dump that much money into a full size yet when it's their first time driving?
I think the Bronco Sport and the Maverick would both be that first time driver car.
That's why when you guys said we have something for that, because I was seeing a lot of these vehicles come through with some leveling kits that I am not a huge fan of.
The spacer kits.
I didn't want to say it, but the spacer kit.
Yeah.
We can rip those apart. And that's fun. Rip them apart.
Yeah, they ride horrible.
And they're unsafe.
And they
quite
jar
frankly.
the whole
Yeah,
vehicle, you know?
They damage the vehicle.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? Where they damage the vehicle, and, you know, you got to tell the customer, hey, I have something for you. Something that's built for your vehicle. And I've talked to a lot of customers that own Bronco Sports. It's a really good selling car. And it does really well in the desert. A lot of people think like, oh, it's just it's the Bronco Junior. It does really good. It's got different drive modes and everything, and it'll pull its own weight, you know. Now that we talk about it, maybe that Bronco Sport should go to Sand Highway. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Or a nice trip through Anza-Borrego, Ocotillo Wells.
Yeah.
I mean, go big or go home, you know. Let's see how it does. Yeah. But again, back to the Bronco Sport and the Maverick. They're great vehicles, and the fact that you have a lineup, I can have a customer that, you know, has a big truck and says, hey, Eddie, my kid and me are desert people. I want to get him something he can drive. Well, hey, guess what? The Bronco Sport and Bilstein's got a fit for it to give it a little more clearance while still maintaining its safety aspect and its, you know, ride quality and stuff like that. So I think that really blew me away when you guys told me about that you are already developing something because of the spacer lifts. They're just unsafe. They don't ride well. They don't come from a name brand. And again, Bilstein's made in Poway.
Yeah.
Those were designed here in Poway.
And I just have to say that this project or this collaboration that we're working with you guys on this Bronco Sport, which is in the process of being built right now, what really amazed me is, so you came here for the tour. The tour was a couple hours or whatever. We talked about getting a Bronco Sport here for us to collaborate on, right? The car was here in half an hour. I mean, you guys moved that fast, and you know, we drug our feet a little bit getting the shocks. We had to special order them and things like that out of our plant.
They're stocked in our
in Hamilton, but it's moving, right? The project is moving really, really fast for the corporate world. And I saw it sitting out in the parking lot with the TerraSports on it, and it's an inch taller, and it looks really killer. I mean, I'm going to say it looks badass. I mean, you just can't. It needs a little bit bigger tire. Yeah,
it changes the way the vehicle sits and is presented.
Yep.
Because without your guys' product, it just reminds me of like a little Scion XD, or that Kia Soul mouse car or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But once I got it back, I was like, oh, it's a whole different face on this vehicle now. And of course, we're going to do the bigger tires, and we're going to add some Baja designs to it. And
share
like
that whole vision with. I
so my vision.
So you're going to build this thing, and
well, you guys did the biggest part of it, right? But the next thing would be lighting, because I think lighting's key on any vehicle that you're going to take off road. And then, you know, not to say anything about other brands, but I've had other brands of lighting. And then once I went to Baja Designs, I never went back.
Yeah, their stuff is the best.
I mean, you just, you know, and they offer such a variety of products.
And they're local.
And they're local, yes.
So back to what we started with here. We try to keep everything local.
It's homegrown. Yeah. It's great products, and I'm sure everybody knows this, but definitely Baja Designs. I'm thinking some A-pillar, some pods, maybe some fogs, and then I'm a big fan of their light bar behind the grill.
Oh, yeah.
Because it sits back there, and when you need it, it's like
it's
there.
Big, too, when you turn it on.
Stealthy.
Yeah. I know you guys want to keep the OEM wheels, which I may do.
We're not stuck on it.
Yeah. I actually would like to see some aftermarket.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they looked kind of cool, but if you guys have a vision
I prefer a little offset, you know, give it a little bit of a meaner stance. And then, you know, if we have to do some cutting, then we may
just let your customers know that if you want this look, that's required.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, right, with the two vehicles that you guys we're collaborating with, they're going to be at our shop, and it's going to be the Bilstein edition Bronco Sport, Bilstein edition Maverick.
Right.
And I don't know that I want to get rid of them because it just looks so cool.
Just a visual.
Yeah. I mean, we can build you another one, but do I really want to let this, you know, the first one?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Joevonni drove it, and he just walked in my office in the middle of all his meetings and Zoom, and you know, take into consideration we're new managers, right? We we've been in the car business for 15 years. We've been doing this a long time, but we both said we didn't want to be managers. We liked our jobs.
And you caved.
You know, but it came to a point where it's the next step.
Yeah.
So in the middle of all his Zoom meetings and, you know, this gentleman facilitates all the parts. Everything we're going to be getting from BILSTEIN is going to be through him. He's going to be supplying. I think we've decided on supplying our Lake Elsinore Ford and our Escondido Ford as well. And there's already a big buzz in Escondido about, you know, you guys at our Aaron Ford Escondido. We've already gotten people calling and asking for orders, and I'm like, hold on.
It's getting there.
I'm moving as fast as I can.
Esco's already sending me stuff.
Yeah,
Hey, get me these shots. Get me
yeah,
that.
and I'm like,
hold on.
the fact that BILSTEIN's going to allow us to be a direct vendor it is a big thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm telling everybody in our company, because they're like, hey, I need this. I'm getting pictures and screenshots. And I'm like, whoa. There's a way to do this. and the fact that they're allowing us to do this, I got to follow their process. I said, but I love the enthusiasm.
Yep.
And I feel like once it takes off, it's just going to go
I
hard,
think it's
it's
going to be just crazy.
So you're gonna have like a build spec for the BILSTEIN edition that,
We-
you can reproduce
we
for
we are
customers?
going to have a build spec. The way it's going to be displayed is probably going to be in the main showroom. And what I'm going to have is a build sheet of what was done,
Okay, great.
and where it started from. And I'd like to have a picture of what it looked like, which I have the picture
Previous.
of
yeah.
what it looked like and what it looks like
man,
now.
that's going to be drastic.
I was talking to Garrett about, you know, how crazy I think I might get with this, because I mean, if you've driven these vehicles, it's the perfect car for, you know, you build it, and you know, when I go to the desert, you know, I'm in the Razor and my wife's in a vehicle, right? I have 2 kids. You know, they get cold, they get hot, you know, whatever it is. Like, if I have a good Bronco Sport that does great out in the desert,
AC heater.
Yeah, AC heater.
Yeah.
You can take my family from Wash all the way to the drags, back to the hill.
Yep.
Like, who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
You know, so, and then do I want to let that go? So I don't think so. So what'll happen is you can look at it, you can look at the build specs, and then we're going to be able to tweak it to your likings. But the first one, I think, should stay with our shop, because it was the first thing that BILSTEIN and the Aaron Automotive and Aaron Ford of Poway built together.
Right.
So obviously, I'm hoping that we'll get the lineup stickers on it and the decals and stuff like that, because it's going to be the first one that BILSTEIN and Aaron Ford of Poway built together. So I don't think I'll be selling that one. I can't wait to see what the Maverick's going to look like.
Yeah,
It's
never
cool to
seen,
have a build spec,
Yeah, I've never
though.
seen one of those.
well, it's got to have one.
Now,
cool
are you
to have
gonna
that,
are you
be
gonna
able to
offer
sell
test
that.
drives to customers
Yeah.
on that truck?
So that's the thing,
That's
is something else that's in the works that the ownership wants to do is, we eventually, once we get into this off-road market, what we want to do is offer maybe every 3 months, where we take out everybody that's purchased an F-150, purchased a Bronco Sport or
desert day.
Maverick. Yeah, a desert day where you come out. And
You're reading my mind.
It can go.
With that being said, we're trying to do the same thing for
Drags.
drag race.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So,
Get a spot,
yeah.
rent it out.
Yeah, Joevonni, our ownership has offered to rent out Verona
Yeah.
Speedway.
Speedway
and that's
in
close,
its entirety.
local.
Local.
Yeah.
That's our main thing, is we want to stay local with everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Totally makes sense. I mean, the desert from Poway here is 45 minutes away.
Oh yeah,
Hour
So-
and 20.
Yeah. I
it
mean,
depends
it's-
on how you
how fast you're
drive.
going.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
So it's like, man, this all fits so good. And that's why I was so excited. And that's when, you know, when you mentioned to me during the tour that you wanted to be on podcast, I'm like, this is a match made in heaven. We gotta get you guys on and share this dream with people that are local here. Now, if you're not local, are you guys going to do any selling outside or online?
So
anything
what
like
we're
that,
going to
or-
do is we're actually going to be building a website for custom builds, where you can actually go on the website. We're going to have, obviously, look, this is what we've done, but you can actually go on this website, and it's in the works already. My advertising guy, his name's Tarek. He is huge in building this website where you can actually build a vehicle to your specifications. And I almost want to make it to where once you have a build, you can almost like test it out or something like that. You know, I don't know the mechanics of it. I let the media
IT
guys, I let them all
that.
deal with it. But we're gonna have a website where you can build a custom vehicle for yourself, and then we'll even ship it to you.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? Like you build it, we'll ship it, we'll take care of it, and just make sure because it starts local, but my vision is for this to get as big as, you know, all the way to Arizona, where people are like, hey man, did you see the Whipples they're putting down at Aaron Ford of Poway?
Exactly.
And then have you seen the off-road builds? I can buy something for me and my son or my daughter, and they'll just ship it to me. So that's down the line, but right now we're sticking in Poway. You can come to our shop. Bilstein's going to be setting up a display and everything for us with all the product lineup, and then we'll line that right up with some Baja designs and stuff like that. So we're really looking forward and excited to work with you guys and have us in our shop. We will be having an event on the 27th of this month at our shop with the San Diego Bronco Club. We're going to have food, music, jumpers, giveaways, and stuff like that. Bilstein is going to grace us with their presence, which we're excited about, because the Bronco, full-size Bronco, comes with what? From factory.
It comes with Bilstein's, the OE equipment Bilstein, yep.
And I drove one of those Broncos, and I took it out to Ocotillo Wells. I was blown away.
And our aftermarket packages are incredible as well for that, and we will have all
It's just
Bronco
insane.
there.
What don't you guys do? Like, you know, like you're like, here's your OE. Oh, you want to make it better?
Yeah,
There's the, it's just, I'm really happy to be on board with you guys. And as far as the way the Bronco Sport rode stock, which, you know, wasn't bad, but then now with the new product on it, it's just night and day. And that's why I made the decision that it's got to get some sand on it. It has to.
Yeah.
You know, like
you got to prove that it's sand worthy. Like
100%. You know, and I'll give you my honest feedback on it.
It's all-wheel drive, or it has the ability.
It has the ability to be all-wheel drive. And if I get stuck, it's okay.
Yep.
That's my own fault, not the suspension.
Better than
he's driven it already.
Yeah.
So
sand is, I mean, you know, you've been doing this your whole life too, is about you know, staying on top of it. It's speed, it's tires, it's tire pressure, stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot to learn when driving in the sand, but I think it will do well out there. I'm excited to see video of it being stuck.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that you guys had this vehicle that you saw a lot of, but it was like missing something.
It was missing something.
Yeah, exactly.
And there was spacers and there's this and that, but you came here and you found what it needed.
Yeah.
Well, you guys had it here, which was amazing.
It's really weird how this whole thing is just kind of lining up. That's what I
mean, I think that the fact that you're in Poway, we're in Poway, it just works out really, really well. And then, you know, these two vehicles, I saw the Bronco Sport, and I always told Joevonni, I said, dude, that's a badass little rig, man. Like, a lot of people
they won't admit it.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, if you've ever been in one, like, it's got all the stuff you need in it. It's got the different drive modes. It gets great gas
like a
mileage.
Spaceship inside.
Yeah, and you know,
somebody actually like drove it up Hell's Revenge in Moab.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is like legit.
I have not seen that video.
I think
it's crazy. You got to search it out.
Well,
if ownership allows us to, I would
like some serious liability now.
I would like to do a bigger engine.
Huh. Yeah, that's the other thing we've been talking about too.
Yeah.
So this one that we built had the bigger engine, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah.
But what's it going to take to get a bigger engine in it? And that's when I go to Joevonni. I go to Joevonni with my crazy ideas, and I'm like, you know, we've had so many different ones, but he's so good with parts that he just, off the top of his head, he goes, you're going to need this, you're going to need that, and then we're going to need to weld this. And I'm like, holy crap, man. Like, what's this going to cost? And so the ownership has told us, you know, whatever you want to build, just let me know.
That might be kind of cool.
I mean, who knows, right? Like, how cool would it be to see a V8 in that?
Well, that's a big mod. I mean, I don't think that's going to be something that you do every day, but it would be definitely.
I mean, but how cool would it be? Though?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
A little sleeper Bronco Sport.
Now you can put some paddle tires on it and do Oldsmobile.
That's what I'm saying. You know? But yeah, it's going to be good. We're going to keep working with you guys as far as having you guys be local with us. The reception we've gotten, the product lineup you have, it's a match made in heaven. And working with you guys are pretty much the same. We're the same.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of from the same part of the industry. Kind of maybe got all trained or mentored the same way. We kind of think all the same.
Or our parents just took us somewhere and said, "Hey, this is where our money goes," and we were hooked. You know, there's nothing better than the off-road crowd. I've always felt that, when you go out to the desert, there's a family environment, which is what Aaron Ford of Poway and the Aaron Automotive Group is about. If I don't have it and you have it, that means I have it. If I have it and you don't have it, that means I have it.
Everybody's there to help.
Nobody gets left behind in the sand. Everybody helps each other out. And that's the place we work at. Our ownership has helped out tons of employees with, life happens. And you can always go to him and be like, "Hey, boss, here's where I'm at. Here's my situation." And he just makes it a great place to come to work, which then translates to the customers enjoying that and going, "You know what? I can go visit Eddie over in service or Joevonni in parts, and he's an enthusiast. I want to do business here." So it's worked out really well.
Yeah, I love the whole feel of the thing, and I just love the fact that we're able to collaborate finally. With the local dealership, that we really enjoy the people that work there. We enjoy the environment. We got to walk around the lot, see some killer cars in the showroom.
Yeah, you guys didn't want to take a Mustang.
I know. We have these things. There's a compliance thing, that we could be crossing there. So had to turn you down on that, but it was real tempting. It was.
And it was a dark horse Mustang.
Yeah, it was idling, and
I don't know what was that gentleman's name that was a Mustang guy.
Lars.
Director
of sales.
Lars in the GT350.
Yeah. Well, I could see the wheels in his brain turn, and he almost got in the seat.
Remember that? Yeah. The other thing I wanted to thank you guys before we even got together. Your R&D shop was buying parts from Joevonni. And we really appreciate that. That staff is huge. They come in, they buy parts from us. They're good people. And I've been in your R&D department. I'm blown away at how much energy you guys put into this. And then there was another gentleman we met there.
The one that does the tuning for the shocks, right?
What was this?
You got Dennis and Ryan Crane.
The guy that started it all, you said. He puts it all together. I forgot his name.
Dennis would be our shock tuner.
Wow.
That guy is the secret sauce of BILSTEIN.
The knowledge he has and the way he broke everything down was just amazing. I have one more thing I'd probably like to do with that Bronco Sport is who's to say it can't do a Baja race?
Oh.
Yeah, there's a class for that. It would be hard to qualify it with the V8, though.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, but it's one of those things where, why not take, the vehicle that we built, take it down to Baja, partner with BILSTEIN, have our ownership back us, and show you what it really can do, and just keep it stock engine, stock everything. If you see that thing run through Baja, if you've been to Baja and you've seen Baja, it's grueling. The best, worst place you can ever go. But it's magical, and you're like, why am I here? But then after the fact, you're like, I'm so glad I did it. But to take a Bronco Sport or maybe a Maverick, I think I'd prefer the Bronco Sport, and actually just maybe not win, but just make the whole race.
Oh, man, that would be incredible.
Just be able to do it.
How much more credible can that little Bronco Sport be?
Yeah, we were talking before we started the show today, in the early days with our old president, Doug Robertson, was racing around in a Class 5 bug with shocks that were off of a Mercedes, right? They didn't make a shock for a bug or off-road racing or anything, but there's that mentality again, the guy had a problem, he had a product, he had a welder, he made it work, and the car won. And it's like, man, so that really, launched us. And there's that challenge again today, right? There's a car, there's a welder, and there's a product. Let's see if we can make it win.
Well, you guys said that, you said you had an idea, right, to get that same chassis and put it through Baja again. And to me, that's like, how awesome is that to go this is where you started. This is where it's been. And how long ago was it that yellow bug was going through Baja?
The Doug Robertson bug was 30? I think 1978, 79.
Yeah, it started.
And what's crazy is he had when they restored it, he had like, and I didn't realize how much. Well, I mean, I knew he was a badass, but when I saw this car restored, it was like, it was 77, 78, 79. Baja 1000 win. Baja 500 win. Mint 400 win. 1978.
Oh, you didn't tell me about them.
It was like just down the road. I'm like, Doug has won every race in the last 3 years.
Yeah,
from 78 to 79. Yep. And what's crazy about him is like I'd be at a show like at SEMA and Ivan Stewart would come up to him just like kind of googly.
Yeah.
I mean, not really. Like,
I mean, Ivan Stewart, right?
Yeah.
Legend. Yeah. To
but
get
like,
that.
But like people that because when I grew up around the off-road racing, but Doug Robertson was a little before my time. But like people that I looked up to were like looking up to my boss.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
That's impressive. Well, just think about what you could do now.
Yeah.
Because at that point you said you didn't even have a shock.
No,
it was off of Mercedes.
Off of Mercedes.
Yeah. You know? And now you guys have a lineup that can make that happen. I've seen your guys' shocks down in Baja, and I mean, it's functional, but man, it's a good looking shock too.
When you go to the Nora race, if you guys decide,
we're gonna end up going with you guys. Yeah.
Since that's all there was available back in those days when they built those cars, almost every car is running on a classic Bilstein damper. You know, that again was something repurposed. They didn't have shocks for those cars. I mean, the early days of Baja, you know, and Doug got into it earlier than that, but he was racing Jeeps. But it's just that history, and then again the potential for new achievements, like you talked about with the baby Bronco down there running around. It kind of just closes the circle. I love that kind of conversation.
I mean, that's probably going to be something we can all sit down and talk about. I know that the ownership wouldn't have a problem backing me in that, and then maybe
you guys are driving. I'm not getting anywhere near.
No. I have an idea. I know a guy.
Okay.
And he's part of the Bilstein crew.
Somebody that's got some serious cojones to drive that car.
You know, he doesn't say much, but I think he's got some cojones, man.
Okay.
I think he can make it happen. I'd like to see him behind the wheel. Yeah. I'll do co-pilot. You know, exactly. I'll co-pilot for him.
Navigate, right?
Yeah, I'll just navigate for him, but he'll put pedal to the metal, man. He'll put in some work. So. We really appreciate you guys having us on here. We just want to get the word out there that if you guys need something or you need to buy some products from Bilstein, I'd say within the next month we should have them in stock. And then Bilstein's going to be setting up our beautiful wall with your guys' product. And you gave us a really cool sign, which I'm excited about to have up on the wall. But it's been a pleasure, talking with you guys and sharing this moment. And, one day if this blows up, we can look back at this podcast and go, man,
this was the
this is where it started, you know, and now, we're down in Baja racing Bronco Sports and Mavericks, and blowing people away. And
Team Sport and Team Maverick.
Well, the Barona thing is our next project.
I want to attend that, so keep us posted on the Barona drag races.
Definitely.
I love that track, and we used to have a Bilstein night at Barona racetrack when we had some of the mini sprints and things like that. So we're not in that side of things anymore, but we used to go there as a team and hang out and barbecue and all that kind of stuff. So we'd like to go watch when you decide to do that.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Great, man. It's been a pleasure being on your guys' podcast. I hate to say this, but I got a Zoom call at 10:30.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get you out here on time. We'll wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for coming on. We really enjoy everything that's happened so far, and we're looking for just so much more to happen in the future. So excited. Thanks again. Anybody that has any questions or comments about anything, please post them in the comments and we'll get back to you on that. If you need to contact the guys at Aaron Ford of Poway, obviously you can find that information on the website.
Yes, sir.
No worries there. And thanks again. We'll see you on podcast next time.
Take care, guys. Thank you.